They sued me for letting my goats trespass on their golf course. So I turned my herd loose to give them a landscaping job they'd never forget. My goat farm sits on 35 acres of rocky hillside that's been in my family for 4 generations, completely fenced to keep them where they belong. At least it was fenced until prestigious Pines Golf Resort decided my property lines were optional. The developers bought the valley below and built 18 holes of championship-level perfection. Manicured fairways, artificial ponds, and greens so perfect they looked fake. Membership there cost more than most people's cars. For the first year, everything was fine. My goats grazed peacefully on my hillside, while golfers played their expensive game in the valley below. 2 different worlds, separated by a sturdy fence and mutual respect. Then they decided they needed more room. It started subtly during their so-called course improvements. They shifted my fence posts inward by 10 or 15 feet in several places. Not enough to draw immediate attention, but enough to steal nearly an acre of my pasture. When I noticed, I went straight to their general manager. A slick guy named Trevor who wore pastel golf shirts like armor and spoke entirely in corporate buzzwords. He claimed the fence had always been there and suggested I double-check my property survey. I did, and my survey confirmed exactly what I suspected. They'd stolen my land piece by piece when I demanded they put my fence back where it belonged. Trevor's polite smile vanished. Look, we've invested millions in these improvements. He said moving everything back would cost a fortune. Maybe we can work out some kind of compensation. Compensation? They wanted to pay rent on my own stolen property rather than return it. I gave them 30 days to fix it or face a lawsuit. They ignored me and instead installed irrigation systems and planted expensive landscaping on my land, making the theft permanent. That's when my goats entered the fight. Goats are natural escape artists, especially when their pasture keeps shrinking and there's perfectly manicured grass just over the fence. And thanks to Trevor's crew, several gaps had been left wide open. The first escape happened during a weekend tournament. 12 goats slipped through a gap near the 7th fairway and sampled prestigious Pines Premium Kentucky Bluegrass. By the time groundskeepers noticed, they had eaten a 20-foot strip down the middle of the fairway and left little gifts on the putting green. Trevor was livid. He called me screaming about trespassing livestock and demanding I pay for repairs. I reminded him that the goats entered through fencing his people had damaged while stealing my land. The second escape was even better. During a celebrity charity tournament, my entire herd of 30 goats broke through multiple weak spots. They ate the flags, chewed up sprinkler heads, and rolled in the sand traps until the whole course looked like a petting zoo. The tournament was canceled. The story made the local news. Trevor sued me for $50,000 in damages. I countersued for theft of property and demanded the fence be restored. In court, the judge reviewed my survey and their improvements. It was obvious they had deliberately moved the boundary to take my land. The ruling, full restoration of my original fence, removal of all improvements from my property, payment of my legal fees, and a reminder that I wasn't liable for any goat escapes caused by their damaged fencing. Trevor had to rip up a cart path, move sprinkler systems, and replant an entire fairway. The cost, exactly the fortune I warned him about. Hit like and subscribe for more goat justice stories.